Doing something by doing nothing? Hmm. Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. Doing something by doing nothing is our subject of discussion this week. It sounds like a contradiction, I know. But actually, in order to build the power of your spiritual connection with infinite intelligence and to enhance your ability to use the power of that spiritual connection, what you need to learn is how to relax and do nothing. Now, what I'm referring to here is that we in the Western civilized world are separated from our connection to infinite intelligence and locked into our conscious minds, separated from our subconscious minds, and have lost faith and awareness of the work that infinite intelligence is doing in our lives. Our way of life has conditioned us to always want to be active participants rather than grateful recipients. We live in a go-getter society. If we want to see something happen in our lives, we have a deep-seated need to perform some physical action to make it happen. We're afraid of being seen as dreamers and not doers. Sometimes that's exactly what we need to be doing, dreaming, dreaming, dreaming and letting infinite intelligence help us make it happen. What many of us may find surprising is that in an unexpected number of situations, physical action, that is, trying to make it happen, can actually block the realization of what we want to see happening. It can block it. I can recall in my younger adult years aggressively pushing for things that I wanted to see happen in my life, only to have them evade me, just out of reach. My experience was that the more I pushed for them, the further they seemed to get away from me. Then when I stopped straining for them, when I finally gave up trying to make it happen, they came to me seemingly of their own accord. It was very strange. Please click on the thumbs up button below. And if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe, which is the logo there in the lower right-hand corner. And remember, I look forward to seeing your comments, your suggestions, your ideas, your thoughts. You can do that in the chat box on the right side of the screen. And if you are looking at this in replay, then the chat box no longer is active and you have to go to the comment section below the video. Now, as I was saying, on the occasions when doing nothing is required, how do we effectively go about doing nothing? Most of us don't know. Of course, just like anything else that we want to be good at, doing nothing takes practice. So the key to building your do-nothing skills is to start small. First of all, let yourself know that what you are doing is actually building a new life skill that will eventually benefit you in creating a successful life for yourself. You got to let yourself know. It's a skill you need to have when you're working with infinite intelligence. And so letting yourself know that that's what you're working on and allowing things that you want to come to you through the power of your subconscious mind is what you're working to achieve, then the importance of letting yourself know that, you gotta communicate with yourself, is that it's going to prevent you from getting frustrated and bored with what you're doing because you've lost the purpose of what you're doing. You got to communicate with it. So the clarity of purpose when you go through this sometimes challenging purpose is that you are chasing or going after an objective, which is to build a life skill. And that life skill is to work with infinite intelligence in the way that infinite intelligence works in its own time. So, as I said, we got to start small. So we start with short sessions first. That is 5 to 10 minute sessions at a time. You set a timer to keep track of the time. You set a timer so that your mind isn't preoccupied with, as 5 minutes passed, as 10 minutes passed. You don't have to bother thinking about the time because an alarm is going to go up when the time is completed. So set a timer, 5 to 10 minutes. Next, number 2, pick a safe space to practice in. Uh, your home is probably the safest space because that's where you can exert the most control. Nobody can approach you and disturb you without your permission when you're in your home. 3 is choose a time when there's not a lot of distractions. Now, if you live alone, that's probably pretty easy to do. But if you live with other people, you may need to find a time when there's very low activity, like when everybody's away at work and you're not, or when everybody's in the bed and you're not. So take a low activity time. Number 4, shut off your electronic devices. That's your TV, your computer, your cell phone, regular phone. Shut that all off. And when I say shut it off, I actually mean turn off the power. The reason for this is that electronic devices, a lot of electronic devices, even if you just lay them down, are actually still at work. They're still transmitting electronic signals. And those can be disturbing to you on a subconscious level. So it's a good idea to shut them off. I can remember talking to my wife one day about a lunch date she had set up for the next day, and she had said that she was going to meet her friend at 2:30. And my phone, which I had laid down and thought was off, immediately responded, okay, appointment is set for 2:30 tomorrow. It's like, what? So, shut it off. Shut it off. Next is 1, 2, 3. Distraction. Yeah, I was talking about the electronic devices. There's a woman named Natalie Houston who's a productivity coach. She's an associate professor at the University of Massachusetts Lowell. And she says, we live in a world where the financial interests of large corporations put a lot of effort into keeping us distracted, which they do. So when we're distracted, we spend more time online. We spend more time in front of advertisements. We spend more time in various states of trance, meaning we're eating, drinking, shopping, consuming our ways into distracting ourselves from the harder questions in life. So, like I said, turn it off. Number 5, after you've done all this, okay, you found a space. You're in a low activity zone. You've set your timer for 5 to 10 minutes, and you're ready to go. At that point, do nothing. Close your eyes and do nothing. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But it's more difficult than you might imagine. Why? Because your body and your mind are going to revolt. They're not going to allow you to do this. You'll find yourself bombarded with thoughts of things that need to be done, or things that you forgot, or what you'd like to do. Your body might twitch and itch and shift to get more comfortable. It's going to take several sessions of you doing this before your body and your mind are finally going to settle down and allow you to do it. Then after 5 or 10 minutes of doing nothing, you can then go on and do something. But remember, that's something you should be doing every day, because you can't master it. You can't become a master unless you practice at it regularly. According to Leo Babauta in his blog Zen Habits, he says an important part of doing nothing is to be able to completely relax. If you are tense, then the doing of nothing is really for naught. Relaxing starts by finding a comfortable place to do your nothing in. A soft chair, a plush couch, a well-made clean bed. Once you've found this spot, lie in it and wriggle around to make your body fit better, feel better. It says, think of how a cat lies down and make itself comfortable. Cats are very, very good at doing nothing. You may never approach their level of mastery, but they make for great inspiration. Yeah, hi Kitty. I can relate to what he says about using cats as an example because they are masters at doing nothing. When my cat gets ready to lay down and do nothing, he gets to his spot and he walks around and turns around in it before he eventually lays down. And then he moves his body into several different positions to make sure he's in the perfect spot and in his most comfortable position. Then finally he stops, lays his head down, and closes his eyes. Now that whole process takes a few minutes actually. But once he finally settles down, he is not disturbed by anything. The noises we make or our talking or our walking past, he's gone. So also when you're working at doing nothing, when you're working at this to become skilled at doing nothing, you have to learn to shut off your mental noise, because a mental noise is a big part of doing nothing. So according to the author Ramez Sasson, mental noise is the constant chatter of the mind that never stops. It's the inner conversation or inner monologue that goes on constantly in the mind. And this mental noise is like background noise that never ceases from the moment of waking up in the morning to the moment of falling asleep at night. Yeah, it often prevents you from going to sleep. Hi, Izzy. Izzy says the law of attraction is about creating an energetic force about something you desire, then relinquishing the control of how it comes by letting go of the desire for it. Thank you, Izzy. That's right. Izzy says once you stop pushing, it leaves space for you to receive what you're pushing for. That's what we're talking about. Doing nothing, letting it happen, you know? So we got to shut off that inner voice that's constantly analyzing everything about your life, about your circumstances, the people you meet. It's a voice in the head that just keeps talking and talking and talking. And the problem with that noise, quite a bit of it is negative. So you're not actually doing nothing if you're listening to your inner voice because you're not relaxed. Like I said, that's negative. It can amplify your stress levels with worry and anger and self-blame, regrets or frustration. All of those are the kind of thoughts you don't need, especially if you're trying to relax and do nothing. So I said at the beginning of this broadcast, we need to learn the master skill, the life skill of doing nothing. Our way of life has conditioned us to always want to be active participants. Go get it, go get it. We're taught that if we want to see something happen in our lives, then we've got to go out and make it happen. Wrong. Wrong. It's not about making it happen. We're afraid of being seen as dreamers and not doers, but that's exactly what we got to be a lot of the time. We've got to be dreamers. We've got to let our subconscious do the work for us in conjunction with infinite intelligence. There's a direct connection, between our subconscious mind and our infinite intelligence, which creates all things, which is all things. That's the connection. So as we learn to allow ourselves to dream, to do nothing, then infinite intelligence can go a long way towards helping us make it happen. So trying to make it happen actually might block it. So in order for it to become a reality, let's learn how to do nothing. Okay? Let's continue this conversation tomorrow. Thank you, Izzy, for your comments. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and join in the work we have come here to do. Thank you, infinite intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we are beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. And as we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves, within our lives more and more. And we know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection to the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more, we know that as we feel your presence within our lives every day, we will rise because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we're now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain we have caused to ourselves, and as we have learned to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this, we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. It's like I got caught looking at the wrong screen there. So, thank you very much for watching. Learning how to do nothing. It's a life skill that can benefit you greatly as you go through life and work with your connection to infinite intelligence. So we're going to talk some more about it tomorrow. I thank you for the time you've spent with me today. Remember, my name is Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this has been On the Wings of Your Mind.